Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Wednesday the 7th of February. So looking at the euro dollar, and yesterday we got pretty close down to its weekly pivot there, not far off of it. Have we seen a bounce from that sort of level? That tied in with the prior highs there from a few weeks ago. Seen it, as I say, seen a bounce at the moment. Are we going to see a continuation? Well, I think when we do some analysis here, there's a couple of points of key areas. Now on this 4-hourly chart you can see quite a obvious trend line running across here, which it's sold into again. It's really just sold into that 4-hourly 21 as much as anything else, I'd argue, but it does look like that with these lower highs, lower lows, that it could still drift off south. When you look at it a bit closer up though, and you see where the highs are on the hourlies, and well, slight different picture here. We've just had a break of that trend a little bit now. This morning for me is consolidated over the last few hours here. This morning is quite simple. Is it going to be breaking back above that trend line and pushing through the what is a 4-hourly trend line there, or are we going to see a breakdown of the daily pivot? The daily pivot breaks. Well, I would be looking for at least to the bodies of yesterday's lows. If it starts moving south, maybe down towards its S1 and yesterday's lows. So it's quite interesting how the previous day's highs and lows are currently sitting around with the new daily R1 and S1. But there we go. So pretty close in that respect. So we'll see how this breaks this morning. At the moment, it's erring to me. It's with the lower highs, lower lows. It's erring on the bearish side, but it could be trying to break out here. One thing is, I'm always a bit wary when it's through an Asian session and you're almost walking out of the trend as opposed to a proper clear move up. But we'll see. So erring more weak side at the moment still. The pound. So the pound, it was softer again yesterday, so it's broken and it's in a sort of more, I say, a slightly weaker territory. When you look at the bigger picture, you'd say, well, it's still doing pretty well actually, but it is a bit of a weaker territory. It's below its monthly pivot now, weekly pivot, monthly pivot. So it's would be seen as fractionally weaker. And when you look at this 4-hourly chart, you can see the trend line again. It's sort of it's just working off the underside of that monthly pivot. So again, we may see sort of continuation in that. When you come down to the hourly, of course, if you put the trend line across the original highs there, well, maybe not through that level, or it's broken the trend, I should say, but it's just chopped along sideways. So really, it's the case if it gets back above its monthly pivot. Well, this morning I'll be looking more bullish, but my preference in terms of trend at the moment, it's intermediate trend for day trading, would be to continuation to the downside. But I do need to see it break through these key moving averages to feel more confident. So it may be a morning of waiting for these two European pairs. Both of them similar picture. Now the yen has moved a little bit more through the Asian session, which is not surprising. It's its main session. It's sold off from its weekly pivot again, and showing some strength against the US dollar here. Now this could just be a bit of a flight to safety through the Asian session. There we go. Let's look at the 60-minute. You can see the clear trend change break here on the 60-minute. The overall trend was, well, lower highs sort of coming through, although this current move has probably broken that idea, but it still hasn't broken that original sort of move down there, so we'll see how it runs. But at the moment I'm erring more bearish. May give us opportunities on a retracement to sell into, but I just need to watch what's happening with the pound and the euro there to feel more confident. If we're seeing the dollar getting strong against most things and not the yen, well, the yen may just drift separately on its way, bearing in mind that money does tend to go there when the risk is coming off. Aussie dollar, excuse me. So Aussie dollar yesterday managed to put a bit of a reversal bar in after quite a slide down there, sharp side slide down there, but this morning it's really just following that slide down. Now I've readjusted the trend line. There was a trend line that was sort of sitting across those highs. It's broken that a little bit, but as we got new bars in, I can readjust and see if that holds. It's again, it's really, it broke it through the sort of Asian session anyway. The Aussie session started breaking through, but it's fouled again, and it does err on the weaker side at the moment. And finally, the Canadian dollar. The Canadian dollar broken the opposite way there. It's broken that original downward trend there quite sharply, the same as the inverted Aussie. And again, inverted Aussie in terms of it's sort of drifted along here, breaking what would have been a trend line adjusted closer to that 4-hourly 8. So it's broken that. Now, is it going to just roll over a little bit here and come back to the 8, or are we going to see it hold still here and continue pushing through? Now, it's quite a simple one here for me. I mean, really, I'm just looking at that 34 moving average. It would give us a little bit of space outside of the trend line that's sitting there. If it starts breaking that, I'd be more bullish on it. A breakdown of, well, probably yesterday's lows is a safe area, I think, because it's chopped in a tight range there. If it breaks that, well then S1 and maybe more to the downside. I would like to see the Canadian dollar correlated with the what's happening with the euro and the pound at the same time. The yen I've sort of given up on the basis that money can flow into that for safety, so it seems to be. If the CAD's pulling down the pound and the euro's pushing up, I'm happy with the correlation there. Now, oil has come off a bit over the last few days, so it's a part of the explanation to why the Canadian dollar may be coming off, but also, of course, just a stronger US dollar. Okay, that's pretty much it. News-wise today, we don't have a lot out. I'm just waiting to see how the markets react. There was a speech or speaker, Muchin, again calling for a strong US dollar, but well, we'll see if that affects the markets this morning and if that sentiment pushes through. But today, what we've got, nothing till really late, 8 p.m. We've got crude oil inventories at 3:30, and if you trade the New Zealand dollar, well, you may see some price action around 8 p.m. I won't be sitting up for that. That's it for me. Have a great day. Bye for now.